Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend and that you managed to get outside and do a bit of exercise. I know I certainly did. So this week in English, we're going to be looking a little bit more on dialogue and speech, but we're going to take it a bit further because it's such an important topic in Year 6. The next 3 days, we're going to look at 3 ways that you can use dialogue, a conversation between 2 or more people, to really add to your story. So rather than describing things, which you do so beautifully, can you advance a story or describe a setting using the people's speech? Okay, so here is your title. English, Walt. Use dialogue to advance the action. This is what we're going to be looking at today. And the date is Monday, January the 11th, 2021. So if you need to pause the video to get that down into your book, that'd be great. Okay. Next, I want you to open up the slideshow. You should be able to open up in Google Slides and it should look like this. We're just going to be looking at the first part of this today. There's 3 parts to this slideshow. We're just going to be looking at the first part today. It says here, using dialogue to advance action and develop characters. Today, we're just going to be looking at advancing action. Okay, so just a quick reminder. Dialogue is a conversational speech that is written down as part of a piece of narrative text. So it shows when people are talking. It's usually between 2 or more people, and it can be really useful when describing characters or advancing a plot story. We'll get onto that a bit more now. By now, we should be punctuating our speech perfectly. When I assess your writing, one of the things I have to look at is that you've got every tiny little comma, inverted comma, bit of punctuation, everything perfect. So just a reminder, use inverted commas to indicate speech. If you haven't managed to do that yet on a computer, press the Shift button first, and then on most computers it's the number 2, and that will get you your speech. Use a capital letter at the beginning of speech if someone's speech is split up. So if, for example, it said, "Hello, how are you?" said Tim, "I hope you're well." Only the H in hello needs to be a capital. We'll go over that more later. And punctuate the end of the speech inside the inverted commas. That can be a question mark, exclamation mark, a full stop, an ellipse, or a comma. And then every time a new speaker speaks, you need to be putting them on a new line. Even if someone just says one word, "Hi, hi, how are you? I'm okay." Each one of those needs to be on a new line. Okay. We've gone the wrong way. Again. Inverse comma, and then comma after again. Sighed Boris, who was fed up with flying around in circles. "No, we haven't!" Exclamation mark. Shouted Beryl over the buzz of hundreds of pairs of wings. "Queen Betty knows the way, and, anyway, I'm sure that we've not seen this patch of flowers before." Full stop. Inverted commas. Notice again, I think we all know this already, but the comma here, the exclamation mark there, and the full stop are all inside the speech marks. Inverted commas, speech marks. Okay. So how do we use that to advance the action? What that means is how do we progress with our story rather than saying, "Then he ran away into the forest and he saw a ghost." How can we tell that, but using speech, using 2 people talking? Sometimes it makes your story really interesting if we're suggesting what's happening in the storyline through the conversation of 2 people. Dialogue can be great when advancing the plot of a story. Try using your characters to tell the reader what is happening. Here's a nice example. So here is talking about a haunted house, but it's not explaining in the description the haunted house. It's explaining more about what the haunted house is like using the conversation of 2 people. "It's not haunted," sighed Rosie, with one hand resting against the rotten door. It creaked slightly. James jumped. Rosie rolled her eyes at the sight of her friend being scared by a building and pushed the heavy door open. I don't like it, said James. It's giving me a weird feeling. It's fine. There's nothing he... Rosie? What is it? What can you see? James said, frantically peering around. Rosie was shaking and pointing to a space just in front of her. There's a... What? Where? Rosie, there's nothing there. You're pointing at an empty space. Stop it, please, you're scaring me, James begged. Okay, so how has a dialogue helped to advance the action here? Would you still know what was happening if you took away the speech? So clearly there's a ghost or something. She's saying it wasn't haunted, but clearly she's seen a ghost. But rather than the dialogue saying Rosie saw a ghost, Rosie's suggesting in her speech that a ghost is there. Okay. So what I want you to do now is to open up the document, which looks like this. You may need to download it. You don't need to print it. You can if you like and cut out the picture maybe and stick it in, but you don't have to. But I would like you to write this in the book. It says, look at the picture of the two dueling superheroes. Ooh, two dueling superheroes. Make a note. Make some notes about what's happening. So all you need to do is you can use bullet points really. I've done some here. It's just make some bullet points about what's going on. I've just written 2. I would like you to write at least 4. In the picture, 2 superheroes are fighting. Yeah, you can see one there and one there. It looks like there are people watching. Yeah, if you look there, there are kind of shadows of people there. I'm sure you can think of lots more. It looks like it's sunset or in the evening. It looks like they're in a city. What else? It looks like they have special powers. Look, this lady's got loads of watches. She's got this pink swirly stuff going on. And this person here has, I don't know, goodness knows what's going on there. Okay. So, it says, complete the sheet that has been set in your book. No need to print anything out. Okay, so once you've done that, it then says, imagine your reader can't see the picture. I almost broke my computer then. Boof. Imagine that your character can't see the picture. There we go. Write some dialogue between the characters that describes what's happening. So you've got to write a dialogue between these 2 people, these 2 superheroes, describing what's happening. It's important that you punctuate this correctly. I've just started this off. I mean, you could aim to write a whole page for this, really. But my focus here is that I'm trying to explain to the reader what's going on and progress with the story by showing people what's happening through the conversation they're having more than anything, okay? So, super time. Turn to face Lizard King. You'll never have control of this city. The war is coming, Super Time. You can't stop me. Super Time laughed. Don't be a fool. These people don't deserve this. So just through the dialogue, we can see already, I mean, this is just short. Yours is going to be a full story. You can see already that clearly, well, I can't remember what I call it now. The Lizard King is trying to take control of the city, and he believes that there's a war coming. Okay, so already we know that one of the characters is trying to take control of the city, and that there's potentially a war coming. We already think, well, who's the good guy in this? Who's the good character? Who's the bad character? Well, I've kind of suggested that Super Time is saying the people don't deserve this. So I've suggested already that Super Time is perhaps the good character in this one. Okay, so see how far you can get between those 2 people. I've made up those names. I've just thought of them on the spot. You can do a lot better. It is vital that you punctuate this perfectly. Okay. It says here, once you've done, write your own dialogue between 2 characters to help advance the action. You can choose any situation you like. You really can choose anything you like. Let's look for a half a page to a page of writing here. And just any situation where you kind of describe what's going on in the story and advancing the story through the dialogue. I've just written 2 ideas here. So imagine you are 2 football players on a pitch and you're advancing in a really, really important moment. So, I don't know, maybe there's a penalty. I think you should take the penalty, she said to him sternly. I know that you missed last time, but the pressure is on. You're the best in the team at penalties. He looked at her for a moment. Are you sure? You were so angry with me last time. Keep going like that. Already I've given away so much about this story and I'm advancing the storyline. He took a step back, put the ball in the spot and looked. He turned round to his teammate. Which way does this goalkeeper dive? He asked her. But it was too late. She couldn't hear him. Whatever. And then this one, I thought this was quite a nice idea. How about two people who are shopping for food for an important meal? The conversations could hint about who the meal is for, what they need, and why it's important. So it could start off sounding really boring, like Boris and James were in Sainsbury's shopping for some food. No, not those tomatoes. Get the expensive ones. Why the expensive ones? They don't taste any better. Yes, I know, but you know what they're like. They're really fussy, and I'm sure they can tell. Okay, so now already we know that there are some nerves going on. The story's going on that they have to be cooking a posh meal or something like that. But you really can choose anything you like. Keep this page and come back to it when you've finished. I would, if you like, you could go back to it once you finish both pieces of work. But I need you to go back and check that everything is perfect in terms of punctuation. Okay? So I won't read it all out to you because I've got it all there. But you can see in green, it, capital letter, late, comma, inside, said Cinderella. The prince smiled and answered, comma, space. Yes, capital letter, but we would have all the time in the world. Punctuation, full stop. Inverted commas. What time is it? Capital letter. Punctuation. Asked Cinders. Full stop. I must leave before midnight. Out of interest. Oh no, we wouldn't work there. Ignore me. Okay. Capital letter. If you must go, comma, said the prince, comma, you'd better hurry. It's 5 to 12. Okay, can you see because in this one, because the person's already started talking, who is it? The prince. Because the prince has already started talking, in the second bit, you don't need a capital there because he's already started talking in this sentence. So in this case, because there's a comma there and because it's halfway through the sentence, you just need to put a lowercase y. Okay, so I will be online later. Please can you submit this work by just attaching a photograph of your book. If you can't attach a photograph, you can't send it to me for whatever reason, you need to let me know. Most people last week managed to send me a photograph. That was really great. I read them all. I'll feedback if I need to. If you can't send me a photograph, you need to let me know beforehand because I need to keep a record of who's completing the work. It's for the trust. They and Mr. Snell. They need to know who's able to get online and who's completing the work. So if you can't do it, you have done the work, but you can't send me a photograph. Just let me know somehow, and I'll find a different way of doing it. Okay. I am looking at your work, and what I'll do if you don't hear from me, just assume that everything's great for the time being. Otherwise, I'm going to be asking people just to see me in the afternoon. I'll try and see everybody at some point this week just to go through your work and to give you some feedback. Okay, I hope that makes sense. This video is getting quite long now, and I don't want you to be sick of my voice. The slideshow continues, but please don't do that yet. Please wait. We'll do the next bit tomorrow. Okay. Peace.